Hey everyone.
Yo.
What up?
Happy Friday. It's been a few weeks.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Yeah, what's up?
Been waiting here for a few weeks for the show, man.
Scott's just been sitting there.
Sorry.
Wolfie.
Wolfie. Oh yeah, there's Wolfie, by the way.
Are people still doing the bingo?
Yeah, occasionally. People still like it.
What do they win when they win a Volfi?
Happiness in their hearts for knowing things.
Happiness. That's the most precious gift of all.
That's right. And that's what we give you.
The most precious gift. So,
yeah,
we could start by talking about the hot SGU news that's happening right now.
Hot.
Very hot.
I sent a message to the patrons today to give them an early heads up on the fact that we are trying to organize a conference called Not a Con Con.
Because we went with just Not a Con.
Not a Con?
Yeah.
Not a Con, whatever. I mean, the event is called...
I wanted Not a Con, but I was outvoted and everybody just wanted Not a Con.
Okay, but everyone's going to say it either way. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter.
Right.
So this conference is called
Not a conference
because it is unlike any other conference that you likely have been to because it revolves around socializing.
There will be no speakers.
No speakers.
Yeah, there'll be no like speaker list. We will have a group of us. It'll be me, Bob, Steve, Evan, Kara, George Robb, Brian Wecht, and Andrea Jones-Roy.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be supplying the entertainment that's going to be taking place over the course of those 2 days. But there's going to be a lot of time to socialize, to hang out, to have meals, to go get some drinks with your friends. And basically, this whole thing is just a hub of socialization. And this is largely due to lots of requests from patrons. And so the deal is that because these conferences have become so unbelievably expensive, like anything to do with in-person conferences, the pricing, it just gets ridiculous, like right away. So what we're going to do is we're going to give everyone until April 30th to fill out. Basically, it's a form that says whether you're interested or you are definitely going. You could get a link to that form. Ian, you could probably pop that into the chat.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat. It's also on the homepage. Anybody needs it.
So what we need 150 people to essentially say that they are definitely going, and then we can commit the time and money that it would take to actually pull the whole thing off.
Then we can put the deposit down on the room.
Yeah, because once we do that, we lose, any chance of getting that money back. This is going to be in White Plains, New York. So it's about 45 minutes away from the New York airports. It's about 10 to 15 minutes away from an airport called Westchester Airport. So
basically in White Plains. I mean, it has its own airport. It's a stop on Amtrak, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
And it's not far from New York. It's actually an interesting little hub. It's a conference hub. There's a lot of corporate activity that happens there because it is so conveniently located. You're not in the city, but you're close. It's got its own airport, got its own train station. So it's drivable if you're anywhere from, if you're in New England or in the tri-state area. So it's pretty convenient, actually.
Yeah, and I have been looking for venues. I think now like 6 months, 8 months. I've been, connecting with different venues all around, the area where we live, and we're picking this area because it'll be the least expensive place to basically do this. We have to fly the least number of people, because flying and hotel are some of the biggest costs of these conventions. Imagine if you had a convention that had 20 or 30 speakers, you'd have to supply them with flights and with hotel and all that stuff. So we're trying to do this to make it as least expensive as possible, because that means that the cost of the conference itself will be less expensive. It'll be easier to do and more chances of it actually happening. So I think it's fun. Like we've been talking about this, like I said, for a while. I couldn't find a venue. The first venue I went to, it would have cost us, just from the hotel alone, it would have been about $40,000 just dealing with the hotel. So I've been looking. I've talked to probably a dozen hotels at this point, and I finally found one. So this place seems to fit the bill. I'm going to go there in person probably this coming week. I'll go in person and do like my final surveillance. But we're not staying in the absolute best hotels that I could find, because that's not the point. The point is to make this all affordable for as many people as possible. So please do go fill out that form. If you fill out the form, be honest. Let us know if you really feel like you're going to go, or if you're just, you're a possibility. And it could be as soon
Strong possibility. Either definitely going or a strong possibility.
Yeah. Don't even bother filling it out if you're lukewarm or you're not sure or whatever. Like, only give us an indication if you really feel like you're going to do it, because again, as soon as I get to 150 people saying yes, they're going to do it, then I'm going to, start selling tickets and make this whole thing become real. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be, very different than any other conference we've been to. We have been collectively, all of us, we've been to hundreds of conferences. I've been in the situation where, you're sitting there for 8 hours a day listening to people talk, and there's, moments of socializing, but there isn't a lot of time to socialize. So I think this will be cool. This will be like, we are going to go and hang out with each other for 2 days. If you think about it, so the conference will be on a Friday and a Saturday. So you probably should get there on a Thursday night, so you're there ready to go for the next morning.
Unless you're close.
What's that, Bob?
Unless you live close.
Unless you're close, of course.
Yeah. If you want to come in the morning, so you only have to stay 1 or 2 nights.
But you can't fly in on Friday. If you're flying, you're going to have to come in. Because unless you're planning on missing some of it.
6 a.m. flight.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm curious to know what you guys think about this idea. And again, fill out the form so we can get an indication here of what's going to take place. This is going out to the SGU patrons. I mean, this is what a lot of patrons have been asking for. They wanted another, meet space conference, and they wanted more socializing. And this is it. This checks those boxes. We talked, one more thing I wanted to say, we talked about Nexus, and a lot of people are like, wanting Nexus to be an in-person thing again. And again, because of the pandemic and how much pricing has gone up, it is extraordinarily out of the budget of the SGU to be able to pull off that conference, because we would be putting down well above $100,000 to make the conference happen. And if we got a bad turnout, that would be catastrophic for us. So we just can't do it. It just doesn't make sense.
Plus, Jay, you and Ian just totally killed the virtual Nexus. I mean, that you guys killed that so hard. Like, why would we walk away from such a great?
Well, that's the other thing, is that if you want to listen to a bunch of lectures and panel discussions and debates or whatever, you don't need to travel somewhere and sit in a room. And to do that, we can do all of that through Nexus, which is permanently digital now, and that is accessible to way more people. It'll be much less expensive for an individual. You know what I mean? You could watch it again and again. It just makes much more sense for consuming information.
Yeah.
But what people say is that may be true, but I enjoyed the in-person conferences because of the social aspect of it, which you don't get as much from the online conference. So we're basically just taking that and splitting it into two, where we have a virtual conference for all the content and a meet space conference, which is going to be it's not going to be all socializing. It's going to be entertainment and socializing. We'll probably do a live recording. We'll do a stage show. George will play, whatever. It's going to be, we'll put together the actual entertainment part of it, but it's going to be a mix of entertainment and socialization. It's going to be more similar to something like the No Show, which, if you've ever been to that, it'd be an expanded version of that. The SGU plus private show, it's more like that than a conference, but we'll find the right balance of everything. But we won't. It'll be good to do that without having to also book a bunch of speakers and fly them in and whatever. This way, we could do that all online, and we do meet space stuff in meet space.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, somebody asked if there's going to be a Nexus this year. So what we decided to do was we want to move Nexus to February. Wow. So Nexus will happen in February of 2024. This August, what we might do is we might do a live stream where we go over the last few years of the Nexus conferences that we've had, like pick our favorite talks and do like maybe like a 4 to 6 hour live stream where we rewatch some of the best stuff that's happened digitally and do some impromptu on
so it'll basically be a live streaming of the best of Nexus, where we will all be there to do Q&A in real time, but we'll be watching the lectures. Will have been ones that were recorded at previous Nexi, and then we're going to organize a new one for February of 2024.
Anyway, okay, so that's happening. So I have now done 2 things this year that patrons have specifically asked for. We also released to patrons a document called "How to Find a Therapist," and it's a document. I wrote half of it, and Steve's wife Jocelyn wrote half of it. She's a doctor, and she's a counselor. And I am a what I consider to be a professional patient, meaning I've been going to therapy my entire adult life. So I had a lot of advice and things to give. And then Jocelyn comes in and talks about it from a therapist's actual perspective on how to find a therapist. So anyway, I'm really happy that we finally finished that. And I think that there's some really helpful content in there that you could use if you happen to be looking for a therapist. Again, like I've been doing this so long and I've been to so many different therapists. I had a lot to say about, my experience and some of the things that I learned along the way. So I hope you guys are happy, right?
Yes, exactly.
And if there's anything else we could do for you, you need your lawn cut, you want dating advice, massage, absolutely.
Jay, do you want to tease if we hit a certain number of people for Nauticon, then something XYZ will happen?
Well, I mean, I have ideas. I mean,
okay. All right, we'll keep it.
Yeah,
close
I
to-
haven't. There will
Stuff
be.
might happen with higher
Stuff might
numbers.
happen.
obviously.
Yes, if we get above 200 people or 250, then I will plan something else. I mean, the thing is, for sure, the conference will get better. The more people that come, which means the more money I'll have at my disposal, then the conference will have more things added into it. One thing in particular is if we get 150 to 200 people that can commit early, then I can go to the hotel and I can negotiate with them the hotel room rate. I could, hopefully get
knock a
that
buck
drop
off.
down, 20% or even more or whatever, which would be great because that impacts everybody. So the sooner you let us know, the better.
Mm-hmm. All right. What else is happening?
Well, Ian and I made so another interesting thing that's out there. We made a website for Dr. Stephen Novella.
Mm-hmm.
Steve now has his own website. Steve
About
is
time.
is essentially wanting to do speaker gigs, and that's the reason why we made it. And I think it's a great idea. I think Steve is like one of the best critical thinkers, skeptics out there that could be hired to give a lecture. And Steve has a ton of lectures under his belt. So we finally made that website for Steve. That's another thing that we got. There it is. Look at that handsome
Oh.
face. Look at this guy.
Dun, dun,
That
dun,
shirt.
dun, 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 dun. I definitely didn't use AI to upscale the image.
Not at all.
Nope.
Not at all. We do not like artificial
We don't
intelligence.
do that.
What? Throw that comment out like that without qualifiers.
I'm joking, Bob. This is called
Hey, Steve.
humor. We
Hey,
freaking
Steve.
are obsessed with it. So, Bob,
Hey,
I'm not
Steve.
going to name any names,
Talk.
but one of my closest friends essentially wrote a very well written post about how he is wholly against artificial intelligence, and it was
Yeah, I read it.
very
I read it.
provocative, very interesting perspective on the whole thing, and I'd be curious to talk to you guys about it. So, at its core, what he's saying is that we're seeing examples of artificial intelligence today, like ChatGPT and Midjourney, that are actually taking some, or there's an element of creativity with these two pieces of AI, and it's very easy to extrapolate where these things are going to go in the short term. I mean, ChatGPT has gotten unbelievably better since I first started using it in September.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And Midjourney is like, it gets better all the time. They're constantly updating it and adding new capabilities, and it just does the job better at creating imagery. If any of you guys saw any of the photorealistic imagery that it made about Trump getting arrested for the indictment, they were damn good. We're not far away from these applications being able to do way more than they're doing today. So my friend's perspective on the whole thing was that it's taking away human creativity, and I think one of his big points is that it will dull the human race's ability to be artists, right? It'll make it so we're leaning on software to do the writing and to make imagery for us, and we're going to like detune the skill and the necessity of artists.
But he also extrapolates beyond that, Jay, and like potential AI replacing people as politicians and even friends. He takes it multiple steps beyond that.
Bob, I don't doubt it. I mean, we will have artificial intelligence is going to be one of the early big adoptions, I think, for artificial intelligence is going to be having a personal. Check out that imagery. I mean, it's pretty solid. That's all fake.
Wow.
It's
running away.
It's good, man. It's good. I mean, it looks real. Like like I said, in a year or two, that you're not going to be able to tell what's real and what's not real from and then they're already making video at this point. It's going to be, we're going to live in a world where we will not know on face value, we will not know what the truth is. Can't trust anything you hear, anything you see. It's all going to be fake or the potential to be fake, which changes parameters quite a bit. But Bob, personal assistant is going to be a thing that happens with artificial intelligence.
I am so looking forward to that. That's one of the
Yeah, me
big
too.
applications.
But let's extrapolate a little bit off of that. They're going to make it so you can from the top down, like, have your personal assistant have a personality, and they'll have a relationship, a quote unquote relationship with you as their primary user, because
Their only user.
they'll
right?
know. Well, yeah, you know what I mean. As
Yeah.
their user, the artificial intelligence program will know you. It'll know your likes and dislikes, and there
It'll know
there
you
will
better than you. I mean,
yeah. So Bob, no joke. Like, people will make friendships with non-sentient
Yeah.
software.
absolutely. I mean, like, agency detection is like a superpower of humans, and we've already crossed that uncanny valley of agency with AI. So they're gonna
So
people are already thinking that they are real people, which they aren't. But there is something there, and even Microsoft this past week released something very provocative about basically saying that we have taken the first solid step towards artificial general intelligence. We're not there. There's huge pieces missing, but we have taken this first major step with with GPT-4, and I agree with that. It's what this isn't simply creating the next word in the sentence over and over. It's beyond. It's beyond.
Yeah, it's gone beyond it.
Beyond
So-
that. But yeah, so we're already there where we're giving agency to this, and that's one of the things that makes it dangerous, because it's not. It doesn't deserve the agency.
But people are going to do, Bob. People are going to do what feels natural to them.
Sure.
And if they're developing a quote unquote relationship with a piece of software, it's just gonna happen, organically. So someone in the a patron, Skeptobrarian, asked, "What is the personal assistant going to do for you, Jay?" So what would a personal assistant do that, it'll be an outgrowth from current Chat GPT. What would it do in the beginning? Well, it would do things. It would be able to do simple things like manage your calendar and get airline tickets for you, help you find, if you're someone that travels, there's lots of things that a personal assistant can potentially do for you. But as the personal assistant idea kind of bleeds out into our society, companies will be able to communicate with your personal assistant, because they'll have an artificial intelligence that's like an intermediary. So you won't really need to talk to people. You won't need to be talking to a human. You could get customer service done through your personal assistant with probably any company that's out there. I need to renew my license. You could probably get, automate a whole bunch of things that are time consuming and things that you don't want to really worry about. The personal assistant would be able to make it happen. In the very short term, again, it's going to be like, we have to wait until companies start to integrate this type of software into their systems and be able to do a lot of things with their systems. But once that happens, I mean, my God, you're going to be able to do anything through your personal assistant.
Yeah, I mean, customer service, making reservations, planning a vacation, that
helping
kind
you
of stuff,
shop, anything.
That stuff will be great. That stuff's going to be great. One of the things that I'm looking forward to is end of the day or whatever, I sit down and my assistant's like, Bob, look at this shit I found for you today. It'll have a whole suite of links to music that it thinks I would absolutely love. Halloween merchandise that I've been searching for. It's like, check this out. You might want to buy this immediately.
Yeah, personal shopper online is a no-brainer.
On YouTube. I mean, imagine doing a month's worth of searching of the internet for the stuff that's in your specific sweet spot, and it does a month's worth of you searching every day in an afternoon. Look what we're gonna be inundated with such high quality links of stuff that we never would have found that we absolutely love. It's almost gonna be intimidating how much high quality stuff it's gonna find for you eventually when it gets to that point and it knows you.
But think,
well, it could do that, but it's gonna be amazing.
Think about the idea that, like, right now, ChatGPT has it was trained on the internet, right? So it has general information that it got on the internet that it knows. Now imagine a personal assistant that was trained on you, that it knows every email you wrote.
Mm-hmm.
It knows anything that you have done and do for work. You could feed that information. You could even be giving it, it'll know your calendar. It'll know where, things that you've done in the past, things that you have planned in the future. Imagine going to your personal assistant and say, bring up every email that I've had with this particular person and give me a summary of, my conversations with them. Like you gotta really think kind of out of the box here. Things that we can't do easily today, we will be able to do when an artificial intelligence piece of software has digested you as its information.
Yeah, and some people are saying that recommendations like that already exist, and they do. But the point is that these recommendations will be orders of magnitude more suited to you than any algorithmic expert system today that might be picking them for you. It's going to know you far better than you know yourself, and they will be fine-tuned much more precisely to you.
But Bob, I don't completely disagree with my friend. I think that there will be legitimate problems and things that
it's going to be destabilizing for sure. Absolutely. I'm nervous and scared about what's going to happen with this. But I think his take on the art angle is too extreme. And
I agree. Yeah, Billy. I mean, people didn't stop painting paintings when photography came out. It doesn't really work that way.
And Steve, if you read the comments on his posts, somebody created a very eloquent reaction to that to Midjourney and AI ruining art, and it was a very, very well written. And he basically said, I'll try to do it justice. He basically said that an artist's journey with Midjourney together, creating the end product of the art, it's going to be a journey between a collaboration between the two. It's never going to be one prompt, one result. Here's the art. It's going to take many iterations and tweaks and changes and it's going to be a long process and a difficult process that some people will have skill at, some won't, as you know, because you've done this. So, his reaction, our friend's reaction to that comment was interesting, food for thought. So he didn't immediately discount that either. So I think in terms of Midjourney and art, it's going to change. And Steve, I'm sure you would agree. It's going to change. High quality art like that's going to change, but it's going to be more of a collaboration in a lot of ways with a person and the generative AI program.
Well, I mean, but Bob, that's in the short term. In the long term, it seems like software like this, in a decade, it could be a very different scenario than you're painting. Like it could be, imagine, all right, let me just give you for instance. Imagine you're playing a Star Wars MMO, or like a virtual reality Star Wars game, right? And the artificial intelligence would be able to create worlds in moments. Just generate a new world, new species, new cities, new relationships, whatever. Like it's going to be able to create content and create imagery and design and all that stuff incredibly fast with extraordinary detail in a way and moving faster than humans could possibly move.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. But I think the collaboration between human and AI for a while will be better than just the AI, because the AI can spit out 1,000 of them, and you're going to have to go through a lot of these to find the really good stuff. Whereas with a real artist in collaboration with the AI, it'll be easier. The output will be more focused in a way that people will enjoy, rather than having 1,000 worlds created by an AI. But I mean, and when we reach the point where the AI can reliably create amazing output like that over and over, I think we'll be even closer to having a true AGI at that point, and not just these dumb tools that we have now. These GPT tools that really don't have the full suite of what we would really call intelligence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is the beginning of a lot of potential change and, like you said, disruption. And we're trying to predict. We're sitting here like discussing it and thinking about what are the potential pluses and minuses here. And I got to be honest with you, like I'm excited about it, and I think it's really cool. And I think the potential for incredible things to come out of this is there. But I equally see the potential for danger And I think we need to really think about our technology and its impact. And this is the kind of thing, like, society, I don't think is really capable of doing this well. Government, like, we talk about this in tomorrow's show that's coming out. I talk about TikTok and all the things that are going on with TikTok. World governments don't move fast enough. They're not putting in regulation and trying to protect people fast enough. Like, we're still dealing with social media like it's brand new. There isn't a lot of, really good, effective regulation for social media to protect people and to make it so it's not detrimental to society. Social media is without a doubt detrimental to society, and governments have done nothing about it. So this makes social media look like a joke. What the potential ability to affect what people think and change and everything. This is power, man.
And it will use social media itself as a tool.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine the posts that you could flood the tweets and all the posts you can put on social media using such a tool as this, setting it loose to spread your ideology or your misinformation. It's going to be even more weaponized than it is now.
And so that potential is there, and I think we all need to really think about it, and very much be a part of the idea that we need to treat this technology like it's good and that it's potentially dangerous. And that means
people that really abuse it, it should be treated like biotechnology and creating pathogens that are super deadly and letting them loose in a sense. It should be treated similar to that. And if you are caught weaponizing it in that way, then I think the ramifications should be harsh. And we've got to try something, because we've got to put some rails on it.
I agree, man.
We can, because it's gonna be so destabilizing. It's scary.
So Bob and Steve, I got an email that almost tricked me. It almost got me to fall for a scam.
Yeah.
Recently, yeah. I mean, it was basically like a very, very good fake of an email that you would think PayPal would send you. Essentially, like, talking about some purchase that actually happened, but it was a scam. I don't know. I don't know if they're like just shooting in the dark, like, statistically, 2% of the people that get this will have purchased something from this particular company. But the timing was fantastic, because I don't want to give any specifics, but I bought something from a company, and then they sent me a receipt from the same company, like right in the correct time frame. Yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah, I bought something from them. What's going on? And then I'm like, whoa, slow down. Wait a second. Like,
Did you use your name or an account number or anything like that?
They had my name. They didn't have like an account number, but they spoofed they came up with a fake order ID and all that stuff. And it passed the sniff test enough where I was like engaging.
Oh yeah. What was the bottom line? What were they trying to get you to do? Hit a link or call?
Hit a link, probably something that would, download something or whatever that could infect my computer. They have a phone number too. So they, I think they want to try to get you on the phone, and try to social engineer information out of you. That was probably another possibility, but it was fake. I confirmed that it was fake, after because I went in, first of all, they had links in there that were fake looking, like the text of the link wasn't where the link actually goes to.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. But you read the link and it's like, the company's website name / customer support or whatever, it all looks legit. And there was no language barrier or any of that stuff. It was very well crafted.
Did you hover over the link and then it showed you a different URL? Is that it?
I don't click links unless I do that.
Well, you could hover it. You could hover over and you could see, in some cases, you could see where it's going to take you.
Yeah, sure.
And is that where the URL was wrong, or how did you know it was going to take you somewhere bad?
I mean, something, I can't remember what, because this happened a little while ago, but something tipped me off, like, red flag went up. And as soon as my red flag went up, then I started to dissect it. And I figured you could figure it out quickly if you're looking. The point is, though, it was so well crafted that it got past like my first 3 hoops to jump through.
Yeah, those are impressive when I go through a couple of layers of vetting and I'm still going, and then I realized, like, all right, you did much better than average. Do you know why they use horrible grammar?
To get through the software that's reading the emails. So they'll, when they misspell things or they use odd punctuation and things like that, they're doing that to get past like Google or whatever email system you're using. They're doing that to get past the auto detect of certain key phrases and words and things like that.
I don't think that's the main reason, though. I think one of the main reasons they do that is to get past the sophisticated users, because they see the bad grammar and they're like, oh, screw that. And they don't even engage. They want to engage with people who don't see them as red flags, because they're less sophisticated usually, right?
Sure, that's a good idea too.
They want coming in. They don't want us coming in, because they would never last long with us if we actually got them on the phone or whatever. They don't want us. They want people.
That makes sense.
So that when I read that, I don't know months ago, I was like, damn, that makes sense. Because you're always like, how stupid are they? Why don't they just do a grammar check or a spell check? They don't want to do that because they don't want us on the phone with them.
Yeah, that's true. You ever have a scammer get you on the phone, like they call, and then, I can't remember exactly what happened in the conversation, but I had the guy basically realize that I was onto them, and the guy started swearing at me and hung up.
Oh yeah, they get
they get angry like immediately.
They flip a switch. They got no patience. Can you imagine the abuse they get from people on the phone? What a job, man! It's like get a different job if you please.
Yeah, I agree, Bob. But a lot of these people that do this stuff are living in countries where it's really hard to get a good job. They're just trying to survive like anybody else.
I hear that. But if the only job option is deceiving and ripping off people, like, I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's we live in a world where people need to do terrible things like this.
But imagine how much worse it's all going to get because of AI.
Yeah,
I know we're going to have AI designing your spam email, right, and optimizing it to whatever gets the most bang for the buck.
Yeah.
Yeah, we absolutely need to figure out how to put filters in place, because it's going to automate so much bad stuff.
Yep. Agreed. What are you guys doing this weekend?
I'm going to blow some leaves.
Oh, did you need to borrow my leaf blower, Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use it.
I was Liz wanted to buy a battery operated one, and
don't do that.
I'm super skeptical, even though we've got a battery operated lawnmower that takes a 40 amp battery, 40 volts, and that's decent. It does the job. It does the job well enough, and we like it. And it's in the battery lasts long enough where we could do a good chunk of our lawn before it craps out. So this blower uses the same battery, so maybe it would be okay. But I bought a corded leaf blower once because I figured it was a good compromise between a gas and a battery, and it sucked. I used it once, never used it again. It was horrible, and you would think that if it's plugged in, it would have at least decent power. This was horrific.
Yeah, I don't recommend that with a leaf blower, because it's using an incredible amount of energy to do what it's doing, and
yeah, so that's why gas. I think the gas is really the gold standard still for a blower. So if you've got one, man, damn, I'll grab that. It'll make my life easier.
Sure. So that's your weekend. You're blowing leaves. I mean, that's what's going on in Bob's world right now.
That's one thing. Gonna work on my zombies. Gonna do some EVA foam cosplay work for Dragon Con.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's gonna be fun this year.
I'm gonna make a robot arm that I slide on, and that's gonna be my costume. I have a robot arm. First time with EVA foam and all that shit. Oh my god. It's intimidating. There's so many masters out there, artists, They're amazing.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of tutorials, and I think I could do a decent job. You just got to do it. Just got to just bite the bullet and just get started. So I'm creating a little craft room in my lair.
Well, Bob, we have a 3D printer if you need anything 3D printed.
Oh, I might.
Yeah, that'd be cool, Bob. For sure, man.
Yeah, I might use that for little doodads.
Yeah, Ian
We can
has
make a
one.
lot of
and
doodads.
yeah, they're perfect for doodads. Perfect for that.
So I got a lot of work to do this weekend because on Tuesday
you're going down to DC,
flying to Washington D.C.
That's to go.
Give testimony to a Senate committee. I don't want to say any details. I don't, it's in process. But first time down in Washington talking to a bunch of senators.
Yep. That'd be awesome, Steve.
That's
I mean,
awesome,
you're like the perfect person for this.
Yeah, it's on an alternative medicine issue. So I have no idea how it's going to go. I'll hopefully I'll be able to talk about it next week.
Is it going to be on C-SPAN or something?
It's closed.
Closed.
Because it's closed because they want people to be free to speak their mind.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we shall see.
So I have a babysitter here, and I have to call her real quick. So I'm going to mute myself.
Yeah, good.
1 second.
Toggle you off. We could bring up that TikTok. Bob, do you want to talk about that one? Let's let this one play. Let me bring this one up. It's right in Bob's wheelhouse. Here we go.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, okay. Never mind. We'll scrap that idea.
No, go ahead. Do it. Do whatever you were going to do.
Here. Let me know if you can hear the audio when I play it. You should be able to.
Nope.
Okay. 1 second.
The Glaven.
Few more seconds.
Steve, did you see Picard season 3 episode 7? The latest one? They're doing it, man.
Yeah, it's good.
That's another damn good episode.
When did it drop, Bob?
Yesterday.
I didn't see it yet. Don't talk about it.
I really digged it. It was good.
Did you see the latest Mandalorian? The most recent one is good.
Yeah. Yes. Very cool.
That show, I swear to God, that show could literally be on one night a week forever, and I'd watch all of it.
Yeah, keep watching. The stuff just keeps happening.
Somebody asked, season 3 actually good? Absolutely, especially compared to season 2, which was a travesty. This is definitely worth watching. It's very nostalgic because it's bringing back, the Next Generation crew, and it's genuinely doing a really good job. I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And here we go.
All right, let's see. I turned up the audio a lot, and we'll see.
Nope. No audio.
Why is it dead?
What's happening here?
Okay, she's saying we just made a room temperature. You can read the text.
She made a room temperature what?
To get the electrons to pass through a material without losing energy from bouncing into other atoms. And up until now, we've only been able to do that at really low temperatures and really high pressures. But they've just made a material that doesn't lose energy at room temperature.
Mm-hmm.
Here's probably the kicker. It does require 10,000 times atmospheric pressure. Bob, discuss. Go. I don't know.
Well, there you go.
You're talking about a room temperature superconductor.
Mm-hmm.
So there's basically, two species of these high temperature, superconductors, and they're the ceramics that we first started coming out in the 1980s, which get up to liquid nitrogen temperatures, which are huge. That you could keep them. You could have a superconducting material at the temperature of liquid nitrogen.
That was huge, yeah. So much.
But then the recent ones, like the last 5-10 years, that have been even higher temperature, have been at super high pressures.
Mm-hmm.
So they're basically worthless, in terms of direct applications. It's really just useful for studying the physics of superconductors. Right. So that's, just saying what happens, you're just trying to see what happens to material in different conditions. And sure, with whatever it is, 10,000 megapascal or whatever it is, you can get to to a higher temperature superconductor, but again, it's not useful for anything.
Yeah.
Well, 10,000, would that be 10 kilopascals? I don't know.
I forget the actual order of magnitude, but they're ridiculously high.
Yeah, I mean it's
okay. Is it 1 gigabit? Okay, good.
It's almost meaningless that they achieved this.
Yeah.
It's like sure they could study superconductivity in a laboratory environment, but okay.
Right, and this might not even be a pathway to functional, room temperature superconductors.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not like we just keep going and we'll get the pressure off sometime. It may just, this whole, approach may not lead anywhere else. It's just one, the only thing I only used to it is as a research tool.
Well, isn't there another news item with from controversial scientists that with a near ambient temperature, ambient pressure superconductor? Isn't that a new one? But the problem is that the scientists have been controversial because when they first released their paper, it was they didn't have any of the raw data, so all the scientists were like, "We can't evaluate this without your raw data," and so they retracted it, and then they published again, but using a different metal, and it looks encouraging. The problem is that it's hard to test. They've got a little piece of this metal. You can't just hook wires to it and find out if it's a superconductor, or it's too small to really repel an electric field, which is the gold standard for determining if something is a superconductor. Yeah. So they have to infer the superconductivity. And maybe they inferred it correctly. Maybe they didn't. The key is when other scientists replicate it. So that's what we got to wait for. They've already, they're already controversial because their first published paper had to be retracted on this.
Yeah.
So they're already, raising red flags. So it's all about if other scientists can replicate it. And I'm really, not going to say much until that happens. I'm trying not to get excited about it because it would be a room temperature, a real room temperature, ambient atmosphere superconductor. That is a game changer. Oh my God.
Yeah, if it's inexpensive enough to make that it could, go, be used in the real world. Yeah.
But that one, Bob, still requires 145,000 pounds per square inch of pressure.
The latest one?
Yeah. Which is still a lot less than the other ones, but it's still 145,000 pounds of.
Yeah.
It's only to be in a diamond anvil. It's not.
Well, then that's just like.
But that's probably the team that had to retract the paper in 2020. So doesn't mean it's not real. I don't know, but
right.
But obviously until it gets replicated, blah blah blah. Who knows?
All right, Ian. Hit us with another one.
Yes. Okay. I was just downloading them so that they will actually play.
Yeah, that audio will actually play.
Yeah, I don't know. It must be a Chrome issue. Let me just grab that one. So let's see.
Excuse me. Sorry about that.
They're all named funny, but here we go. Oh, this is a good one. Here it comes. Here it comes.
And here
you see, the biggest pores in the whole of your body are on the soles of your feet. So what you do is you get a plastic bag thus, and you put the onion in the plastic bag. And then the foot is put on let's say this is the foot, you put it on the onion in the plastic bag, and then twist this bag around and around and secure it, and then put a sock on. And the sock will hold it nice and firm. You want the onion on the bottom of the feet, because the biggest pores in your body are on the bottom of your feet, and the body will take the onion where it needs to go. And often it'll take it if you need it in the chest or to clear the head. I was with my daughter and her little 3-year-old. We'd put him to bed, he had a cold, and he coughed, and he coughed. And you think any moment he'll fall asleep. But half an hour later he was still coughing, and I said to my daughter, Emma, just get him up and we'll do the onion. We put the onion on the bottom of his feet, put the sock on, put him back to bed, not one more cough. It's almost unbelievable what it does.
Jesus.
So.
Yeah, I look at videos like this and I'm like, I go to a bad place because I get angry because I look at this person and I go, what the fuck do you know?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like who the hell do you think you are And what the hell do you actually think you know? It's like ridiculous. Like this information comes from literally the imagination of other people. Doesn't
yeah, but it's all confirmation bias, and it's the illusion of knowledge, right? She doesn't have the critical thinking chops to realize that it's bullshit. It's completely scientifically implausible. It's totally anecdotal. You could be led to believe that anything, could make your 3-year-old stop coughing, whatever. And probably her memory of what happened is not accurate either.
Oh yeah,
it morphs over time to fit the narrative.
But it's anecdotal. The kid stopped coughing when they put onions on the soles of his feet. It's like,
but Jay, that's where your pores are the biggest.
Of course, I know.
So
that's where the toxins can come out.
Is that what she said? I didn't get that part.
Yeah.
It takes the onion where it needs to go too. Was a funny line.
Onion in your brain goes there.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Onion in your spleen. Got onion spleen going on.
You know what?
It's all
and
good.
the real crime here is, my God, you could make such an epic tomato sauce with a nice onion chopped up. You saute that shit. Wouldn't you rather eat it and enjoy it going down, and then
you can still eat it? It makes it really tangy after it's been on your face for a while.
But if your body needs onion, you might as well take it in the form of tomato sauce and meatballs and things like that. Like why? Imagine you meet someone that you're interested in. And you want to have, you think this might be the one. I'm going to finally be able to have a relationship with someone. And then you end up like spending that first night with them, and they end up putting onions on their feet and putting socks on them and going to bed. Imagine that as a skeptic. Imagine your disappointment when that happens. Oh, my God. I'm so tired of this shit. I get so tired. I look at these people talking as if they have a goddamn clue what the hell is going on in the world. That woman doesn't know shit. You know what I mean? Just shut up. Shut up and stop telling people bullshit. God damn.
Yeah.
How many followers does she have?
I don't care to look. I'd be depressed. I don't know. I didn't.
I'll just feel better if it's not too many.
Well, speaking of something unholy, let me bring up this next one. We'll see if the audio plays on this one. I'll try it one more time.
Watermelon.
What? No.
Now I'm hungry, Jay.
I know, me too. I can't wait. I got dinner waiting for me already. I'm freaking out.
Let's see if we hear the audio. I downloaded it already, but we'll see if we hear the audio.
Holy shit.
What the hell?
I don't think we hear the audio. I can't.
Yep, that happened, Bob.
I'll pull it up with the
you got to get the audio on that.
Yeah, the audio is although the comment on the side is pretty funny.
Is that when you were constipated, Jay? You used the chisel?
I think what the guy is doing is he's using that chisel to shock the coccyx bone.
Man, you don't want to knock something into your coccyx.
No, you don't.
Yeah. First time?
First time.
I mean, what just happened?
What just happened? You got hammered in the ass, pal. Okay. That's what just happened.
Oh. Nice pics, bro.
Oh, wow. Did you taste it? Yeah. I could literally taste my crack. Oh, what was that?
What a phrase. I could literally taste my crack.
Don't even. Let me get a hammer and a metal like it looks like a stake, and let me hammer this into your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Let me help your body, your physiology, by hammering something into your goddamn ass. That's what we just saw. There are people out there that are hammering people in the ass. Steve, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah,
pro rank.
There's nothing good about the violent movements that chiropractors do, whatever they do.
It's risky, man. I've had it done to me.
It's all risk, no benefit.
When I was young, and man, that's thinking about it now. It's like that's risky.
Yeah.
Worst case scenarios are rare, but they're not good.
Yeah.
I mean, there are chiropractors out there. Again, it's like my same kind of position as with the woman with the onions. There are chiropractors out there that are coming up with new ways to crack your body. New adjustments and things like that. Let me experiment here. Let me see. Let me get a metal stake and I'm going to hammer this into somebody's ass, and this is going to give their coccyx bone an adjustment, a goddamn adjustment on your coccyx bone. I mean, just think about how stupid that is.
I mean, I fell on my tailbone. I felt that for a month. That hurts.
But again, this is all made up shit. There's no science going on here. There's no, let's do a rigorous study of hammering people in the ass. At least then you could like sit back and look at the data and be like, oh, well, but they just do it. Some chiropractor picked up these tools and hammered somebody with this thing. And, they come up with this shit. They cracked that guy's jaw at one point. Could you? Mm-hmm. I would never want someone to mess around with my jaw. You know how painful jaw injuries are? Imagine dislocating your goddamn mandible. Imagine that.
Yeah,
idiots.
Not just that, but Jay, the one that you commented on our TikTok.
Oh yeah,
not to promote it, but also to promote it. Which one was it? It was the dog one.
Yeah, it's okay that we.
Oh, here it is. This one.
Percussive proctology.
Yeah, do it.
The audio's not working right now, but
look at the dog looking at him. Guy gives the dog an adjustment.
That looked like a standard poodle, Jay.
It was.
Go watch our TikTok. Thank you. But also, yeah,
giving a chiropractic adjustment to an animal. The animal can't. I that blows my mind on so many levels. This isn't like, oh, my animal has been limping around and there's something wrong with it. And I need to do something. They're hurt, and you need a vet to look at your animal and try to help figure out what the problem is. Like that dog there was probably absolutely nothing wrong with that dog.
Mm-hmm.
And some moron is paying some other moron to give them a very expensive chiropractic adjustment to a dog. To a dog.
Yeah.
Doesn't it blow your mind, guys? I see that shit and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like I share atmosphere with these people.
Yeah.
I get more upset when it's to a baby.
Of course, yeah. Those I can't even look at those. They blow my mind.
Yeah, a couple of people kept mentioning about Linus Tech Tips. I'm familiar with that. He got hacked. It seems to be happening now with an Elon Musk live AI scam live stream. A bunch of YouTubers have gotten hacked about that, which is crazy. But anyway, it is an interesting phenomena.
So what happened, Ian?
So Linus Tech Tip is a very big YouTube channel that does video. You've probably even seen it where he does videos about computers and all kinds of other tech stuff. But him and a couple other YouTubers recently found themselves banned because their accounts get hacked, and then the scammer will make this like deep faked version of like Elon selling some crypto scam. And it's a very popular thing. So it's like a deep fake thing, and like
it's working.
And it's working. I mean, ostensibly, it's been going on for a while now. But like Linus's channel is like a really big one. He's like 15 million subs, so like a really big one to get like banned.
Yeah, that sucks. That guy's income literally evaporated overnight.
Yeah, but he got it back. But yeah, it is kind of like annoying to have that happen. But it is a common thing happening. So don't buy crypto from Elon, in other words, or in general. We have another video. Let's see this one. So this one's a fun little take on a classic. Let's see. How many people are familiar with flat moon theory?
That guy's a genius. Yeah. You fooled me.
Yep. The moon is concave. And that's how it works. As it goes into liquid.
Well, what is that meant to prove? I don't know.
I think the phases of the moon.
Yeah, but so what ocean in the sky is it being different?
Yeah, I know, right?
That's my point. What is the coherent cosmology here?
Well, yeah. Whatever's above the turtle, I think, and then there's
Is it turtle piss? Is that what?
Yes. Turtle piss floats, obviously.
Yeah, so you got some chucklehead making this video, and then you have people watching it and
It's pretty
believing
popular
it.
too.
Yeah,
It's pretty popular.
yeah, you're right. The moon is flat, and it's being dunked into a sea of blackness. Yeah, that. Of course, it's so obvious.
It's funny they call it flat when it's still concave.
Yeah, it's not quite flat.
Why can't it just be convex and very convex? So
Well, I mean, my entire worldview has just changed by watching this guy dip a kid's toy into a bucket of black water.
I like the rotated image of the
Yeah.
moon. Whoa. I think that's the other benefit of like TikTok too, in terms of these videos, is like they're almost incomprehensible that you like you end up watching them because you're like, what the fuck are you trying to say? And then that just feeds into the algorithm. Not a benefit, but
Yeah, I know. Like, well, each week we're trying to figure out like which ones are we going to do. The question is, how far down the rabbit hole of incoherence do we go?
yeah.
Yeah, and at what point are we in mental illness range? You know, where it's
Right,
like,
that's
I don't really feel comfortable with this guy because he's probably unmedicated. You know, and not. It's not really that he just it's a failure of. It is a failure of critical thinking, but it's like it's beyond just that.
Yeah, but even if he or she is having an outsized impact, I think it's worth addressing.
Well, obviously, we take that into consideration as well. You know, we don't want to draw attention to somebody who's not already having a lot of hits. But we also just don't want to spend too much time on that end of the spectrum.
Yeah,
we have to do some of it.
It's still misinformation, though, Steve.
Yeah, I know.
You know, whether the person has got mental problems or not, you know, whatever their situation is, in the misinformation, you know, that's why we're doing it. You know, like we are trying to give people a rational view into whatever snake oil they're selling.
Well, no, that's we have so far been hitting the ones that it's not a one person, one video claim situation. It's like there's tons of videos making the same claim. Yeah. Like the Tartaria one was a good one because it wasn't just one crazy guy saying it. You know, the idea that 100 years ago, 150 years ago, the entire world was covered in a mud flood. And it blows my mind. It's one thing to say it happened a couple of 1,000 years ago, but they say it happened like in the 1800s.
Yeah.
It's like we have pictures from the 1800s. We have, you know, we're like only a couple of generations removed from that. There are people alive today who knew people who were alive back then.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the mud flood, though, Steve. I mean, how can you say it didn't happen? You weren't there.
Reminds me of Mudblood.
Yeah, but there's no way you could erase the worldwide cultural memory of an event like that.
Right. You're dipping into supernatural bullshit at that point.
That just can't happen. It's stupid. It's beyond stupid. You know, the idea that there's
it's irrational.
Physical evidence.
Absolutely irrational.
Yeah.
I think that could be wiped out so extensively from memories and evidence, artifacts, pictures. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
There would have been a major dip in human population.
But Steve, the phrase mud flood has good alliteration. I mean, so what are you saying?
Yeah. Good rhyme. There are some people who pushed back and said, well, what about the fact that it's happening in Indonesia with the mud volcano?
Okay.
It's like very small.
Oh, you're right.
You're right. That's different than a worldwide flood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's raining somewhere right now on the planet Earth. Does that mean it's raining everywhere? You know, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just wacky.
Brain power so low that it couldn't even light a light bulb. You know, like just pack your bag and go away.
We found hard evidence of a major meteorite impact 65 million years ago, but a flood 150 years ago would be elusive, beyond detection.
Exactly, Bob.
Yeah. And by the way, it wiped out a whole civilization.
Yeah, there was a Bob. You don't understand. Okay, you are not fully comprehending what's going on.
An
here.
advanced.
There were people that
too.
lived. There was an entire civilization that lived right before us that had extreme technology. Okay,
free energy. They even
can't disprove this. There was mud, Bob. Okay, there was mud. Yeah. You don't know what you're talking about, man.
They lost the mud.
But in the comments, they're all about, if the government says it, I don't believe it. That's it. That's really what it comes down to.
Just anti-establishment.
Yeah.
Just anything that is organized. If they have a consensus, I don't agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Fauciism and all that shit. It's like, we're talking about, like, you look at these positions that people take, like this unbelievable hand waving. If a government says it, I don't believe it. Okay, well, there's massive implications with that statement.
Mm-hmm.
Massive. It's as if
that's flat earther level.
On the planet,
it's flat earther level.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just super juvenile, basic perspective and ways of thinking. There is no, shades of gray in these people's worlds. It's everything is a scam. Everything is a lie. Everything is a scam. That and again, these people do. I think a lot of people do this because it gives them a sense of, of control. Like they feel like they know they're in on the secret and they know.
No, I think Perry's phrase, like when you speak, like, why do people do this? Like at this extreme end of the spectrum, and he would always say, because people live lives of quiet desperation, right? And they're just doing this for entertainment.
Yeah, they should pick up role playing.
I know. This is what they do so that their life is not just nothing. And I think there is something to that. People do it because it makes their lives more interesting, and they got nothing else going on.
I'm thoroughly entertained. I am thoroughly entertained by the time I spend role playing with my friends. By the time I spend making bread, get a fucking hobby.
Yeah, get a hobby. It's true.
Start a paper route. Do something. Stop making videos on TikTok about the moon. Just stop. It just blows my mind. Like, somebody put thought into that video. They're like, we gotta show people how they can't tell whether something's a sphere or not when you're looking at it in a 2D perspective. Like, this is earth-shattering information. Go fucking make some pasta. Get out of my face. You know what I mean? I'm not having it today, Steve.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I'm just angry.
Do you have a quiz for today?
Here's my quiz. How stupid is everybody on the planet on a scale of 1 to 10? 10, you can't tie your own shoes. That's my quiz.
Average, is that it?
Should we take some questions?
Yeah, take some questions.
Take some questions. Here's a question. What am I posting next on TikTok? It's the cognitive bias, confirmation bias, specifically TikTok that Steve did.
Yeah, the confirmation bias.
We're doing that as part of the logical fallacies series. So that's going up right now. So if you guys like that, please go check that out on TikTok and blow it up and send it to people. Not aggressively, just nicely. Okay, let's get some
nice blowing up.
Nice blowing up. If anybody has any questions, go to our Discord if you are a patron, which you can link in the back end, and you can submit a question in the live stream channel, which is the live stream and questions channel. The first question comes from Skeptibrarian. Is Bob putting out the skeleton for Easter?
The 12-footer?
Yeah.
No.
Why? But why wouldn't you, Bob? Why would?
I mean, yeah, it's a zombie holiday.
Easter?
First off, he doesn't fit in the house.
True.
You'd have to go outside, and
he would fit in my house.
It would fit in your house. It would.
I have a room that can handle him. I hate Easter. Like, I hate everything about Easter.
Really?
There's not one thing about Easter. Well, I do like Easter
jelly
bread.
Beans.
I don't like jelly beans anymore.
You don't like jelly beans?
Yeah, I lost it. I don't know what happened.
Paloma?
I like Paloma.
Paloma. Oh, I gotta make some of that shit.
I like the food. Anything to do with the food, of course, is great because
you like grain pie, Jay?
I do. I like grain pie. I don't like the candy. I don't like the Easter bunny.
Did we put mom on grain pie duty?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you like hiding eggs for your kids?
Not really. I mean, I like it when they're having fun, but I don't like going out there and hiding that shit all over the lawn. It's not that fun.
Inside the house. Don't do it outside.
I do a lot of things for my kids that I don't want to do. You know what I mean? It's for them.
Never should have had them.
No, don't say that.
Paloma is this wonderful Easter bread. It's the best bread I've ever had for dunking into something else, whatever that something else is. Either tea or
coffee. I dunk it in
coffee. You do coffee. I do tea or milk, but it's incredible.
By itself,
a little dry.
It's dry, and I have had it with peanut butter, which is surprisingly good, of course. But with coffee, I will have that as a meal. I will grab a piece that big, and that's like, here's my lunch today. Bam.
Yeah, it is awesome.
It's orgasmic almost.
Bob, what you should do is you should write up that recipe, and we'll put it on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want that recipe.
Yeah, that's good. Sure.
I'll make some this year.
And the grain pie easy. Too. I need the
grain pie is not stupid easy.
That takes work.
That's a lot of
stuff.
Yeah,
but I still want the recipe. We got to make sure we get the recipe perfect from Mom.
Steve, I got him. For grain pie and Paloma, it's on my phone. I took pictures.
I want it. Send it to me.
I've sent it out.
Put it in a book first and make them pay $12.
Yeah,
Bob, come on.
I still think we should do the skeptical cookbook.
That would be good.
In there.
That would be fun, man.
That'd be a fun
definitely
one.
Be fun. Yeah, we're gonna, and also, Steve and I and Ian have been talking about making videos for our patrons that are one-offs from the SGU. Like, Steve, what would you want to do a video on? Like your swords or something? Like what would be?
Oh, making stuff, you mean?
Yeah, it could be anything. Like mine, obviously, I'm going to teach people how to make a loaf of bread. What would you want your video to be about?
I got to think about it.
Oh, Bob, you got to check this Discord image that somebody just put. Oh my God.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Let me download it.
That's great.
I'll send it for everybody.
Yeah, now you need to do this, Bob.
This is, it's mandatory.
All right. What is it?
Hold on. Let me
some patron posted an amazing picture of the 12-foot skeleton.
Was it as like a leprechaun or no? What was it?
No, it's an Easter theme.
Yeah, it's Easter theme.
Okay.
Sorry, it's just taking a while because it's in a weird spot. For me, stand by.
Basically, skeletons make every holiday more fun.
True.
Yeah, they're just infinitely adaptable.
Failed to upload. Why? It doesn't want to upload. Hold on. Any second now. There it goes. Bob.
There it is, Bob.
Nice.
All right.
That skeleton is so versatile. It does every way people
very simple.
Manipulate. Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
That's the way to do it.
I've decorated mine for Halloween, of course, but for July 4th, graduation day, I created a graduation hat and a diploma mega sized for my skeleton. What else did I do? Christmas. Oh my God. I sewed a 6-foot Santa hat and put it on him and a beard. I made a beard, I think, and that was it for Christmas, but he looked good.
All right, we got some more questions.
Go ahead.
From Sanguine Penguin. Is it really possible to halt the mass extinction of other species without stopping or reversing the growth of human population? Or is it the best we can really hope for to simply try to slow down the rate a little?
I mean, that's complicated. It's there's probably a maximum number of people that the planet could hold. And I did read an interesting science fiction story where, we were like deliberately eliminating other species to make more room for people, so that the Earth was 100% of the biomass on Earth was people. We don't want that to happen, but there's a lot of headroom, I think, in terms of using our resources more efficiently. We could probably support more people without any further stress on the environment if we were doing it optimally, and as our technology improves, but it gets obviously increasingly challenging. But what's likely to happen is that population is going to peak around 10 billion or so, and then start to level off. It will come down even a little bit. That's what the projections are. We don't know. We can't obviously say exactly what's going to happen. In the population in industrialized countries is actually decreasing.
Yeah.
And like in the U.S., the only thing that keeps our population from decreasing is immigration.
Yeah.
So if we do successfully like lift the developing nations out of poverty, the same will probably happen there as well. But at some point, we would reach some kind of equilibrium point,
Yeah.
And
I
who
hope
knows
so.
what that would be
I
at.
really hope so, man.
Well, I think we should go back to skeletons. Here's my Christmas skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
I actually sewed that hat, which was, I don't sew, but I did for my skeleton.
Well,
and he's got a bag of gifts, and he's got ornaments on him and a scarf. He was fun.
Yeah, that was cool. Good job on that.
Loss of leveling off does not mean massive loss of life. It just means that the natural death rate exceeds the birth rate until at some point they're in equilibrium.
Ian, do you have another question?
Sure do. Tell us more about Nauticon. Which rogues will be there?
All right,
be there.
Nauticon is going to include all of the SGU, George Robb, Brian Wecht, and Andrea Jones-Roy. And we will be there to entertain you guys with lots of different things that we're working on right now. I mean, I could tell you, like, we are discussing doing a BVZ night, which would be fun because there's audience interaction with that. As a matter of fact, we'll be pulling people from the audience to be the contestants. And we'll have like things happening during that weekend. Some of them will have socializing at its core, right? So if we say, all right, everyone, we're going to do this now, and part of it, part of the idea would be that you'll be talking to other people and interacting with people as we do it. You're not just going to sit there and listen to us talk. We're going to keep that at a minimum. So that's I mean, what can you get? What more do you want than Bob? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You guys don't even have to come.
That's right. Just be Bob and a bag of Halloween decorations.
And peanut butter. and I can bring my new board cube. I got it because sometimes you just don't have enough board cubes. I got another one.
Let's see it. Oh, that's big, dude.
So this is the one that has that defined, like, discrete outer tubular area. So this is an older model. I think this is probably 15 years old. And I hesitated getting it for years. Like, it's actually not too bad. And it makes noises, which are kind of loud and annoying, so I won't do that. But just adding this to my collection of board cubes.
You might be the Borg's biggest fan, Bob. You never know.
One of them, man. Love it. And somebody asked if we ever did that Borg idea at Dragon Con that we had a couple years ago. No, we never did it. Maybe someday. I still think it's a great idea. But this year we haven't decided on a group costume for Dragon Con yet, right?
No, we haven't.
We got to start come up with a decision. But I know I'm going to have at least one robot arm. But we want to do a group costume.
So is your real arm going to be in the robot arm?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's take another question.
What is the funniest thing that happened during a Jay and Steve video session? Give us behind the scenes details.
A Jay and Steve video session? Like what? What do they mean?
I guess that's relative to what we've been recently doing with the TikTok. Actually, I have a video I want to show. I never posted it, but go ahead. You can talk.
I mean,
there haven't really been any blooper reels.
Nothing real. I mean, we are content creating, so we're just sitting there talking about like what of all the TikTok videos we found that week, Steve is deciding which ones that he wants to do. So we're kind of pitching to him, like, what do you think about this? How about this one? Come on, please do this one because blah, blah, blah. And, that type of thing. And then Steve and I also, figure out what YouTube topic we want to talk about each week, because we've been making those YouTube videos. It's a single question. I ask Steve a question. Steve answers the question, and we have a conversation about whatever the topic is. And if
there's
you're
not much that can go wrong.
Yeah, but there isn't any nothing has happened.
We're just
yet.
sitting there. We're just sitting.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that we are doing this every week. We haven't missed a week yet.
Except for that 1 week we missed.
There was 1 week we missed.
Yeah, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. I have a video I will play, but I got to find it. But let me get to the next question. Do any of the rogues suffer from decision fatigue? Do they do anything to mitigate it?
Yeah, go to sleep.
I mean, what's the difference between decision fatigue and just being tired after a hard day of work? I guess I don't really know what decision fatigue is, so I need a definition.
That's when I make all my bad. That's when I make all my bad decisions.
Ooh.
I mean, I can. My response is that there are a lot of times when I want my wife to make a decision that I don't want to make. That might be when I'm having decision fatigue. So it's really nice to be married to someone who's a go-getter and who can make decisions. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of times during the day I like to make decisions because I want things to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Is there another question?
Let's see. Oh, I'm mentioning one from your Patreon. I'm in contact with somebody that left Scientology. They were in the Sea Org because of your podcasts and this Discord. They thank you and all Discordians. Oh, somebody who was previously a Scientologist. Well, thank you. That wasn't really a question, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. That was from Silac.
Happy to be of service.
Although Silac then brings up, are we in a cult? Because we listened to your podcast and book and we're patrons.
Well,
sure.
In a very loose way, sure. But, this is a cult that encourages you to become a better person and think for yourself and, educate yourself in a way where you can interact with reality that, is less dangerous. I mean, it's a healthy cult.
No, but I would say no. The actual answer is no. There's literature on what constitutes a cult. It's not a black or white thing. There's 14, 15 features, and you need to have, where you draw the line is ultimately arbitrary. So, we just if you're a listener to a podcast that, espouses a worldview that you agree with, maybe you might tick 1 or 2 boxes out of the 14, but not enough to be considered a cult.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I mean, as far as I could tell, we've never. Here's the key feature of all cults: is first, you give me all your money, and second, I get to have sex with all the women. If that were the case, then you would have an argument that this is the case. But I promise you, that's not what's happening.
Definitely. I mean, of course, the definition is the key factor here. I mean, we're not a cult simply on the idea that at any point in time you could just pack your bag and walk away, and we're not going to come chasing after you. You don't want to be here. You don't want to hear what we have to say. Then thank you for interacting, and take care. So it's not.
Are we totally inflexible with this money sex angle? Is that
No, I mean, I've thought about it, Bob, and look, who actually is getting hurt here? You know what I mean? Everybody likes money and sex, so what's the problem?
Depends on where it's going, but yes.
Right.
No. So definitely not a cult. It's like what's an anti-cult? Not a cult.
Yeah. We have a conference about it, not a cult.
That's right.
Not a cult con. Not a cult.
Now Silac is trying to backpedal.
Yeah, look at you.
This was a question from last month. It was not a serious. Get out of here. You know what you wanted to know.
He's bringing his Canadian values, his Quebecois
the
values.
attitude on this
watermelon.
He thinks he's above us, Ian, because he lives north of us. Do you understand?
Right. That's true.
He thinks the north is up, and he's above us.
He's beyond the north. Don't reference that. Not a Canadian. I'm sorry, Silak. Not a French, Quebecois.
See, we're closer to the equator, and the Earth is an oblate spheroid, which means that the equator it bulges because of the rotation. So we are actually higher than anybody north of us.
That's correct, Bob. Thank you. Thanks for clarifying that.
If you're south to us, closer to the equator, then you have an argument.
Let's take one more question.
Okay, there. Oh, I also found that video.
Unless Ian, maybe we'll ask you a question.
No, there's no questions for me.
Okay.
I'd love to know if Steve has any views on tulpas.
Tulpas are like the
TLPAs.
Do you know what a tulpa is, Steve?
Tapas? I love tapas.
So a tulpa is the idea that somebody can create a second consciousness of sorts in their mind. So they develop over time this idea that they're talking to somebody else, and there's a second voice in their head, and it's like a second personality that occupies their brain, that they have a relationship of sorts with.
Related like the TikTok video. Holy crap, we got to find one.
But it's something that people claim you can develop. You can put energy into it, and develop this second consciousness that resides in your brain. I mean, I think it's all just a mental illusion.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
That seems likely to me.
I mean,
sounds like a invisible friend.
Yeah, this person says
playmate.
They're in love with their imaginary cockroach wife, which they found on Reddit. Which I was like, okay.
Like I said, the world is full of stupid people.
Reddit is a fun place.
Yeah,
I love it. I love Reddit.
Reddit is great. It's if you pick the right subreddits, it's a great experience.
It's my go-to place online. I mean, every day I'm scrolling through looking at science news, crazy videos, stuff about AI. I'm reading AI stuff all the time. It's fantastic. Just pick whatever you love, and you'll get tons of that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
and sure, there's crazy comments, but
back to the YouTube video, Skeptibarian. I think we're going in a different direction with some of the YouTube videos here. Let me play one for you.
What is this?
You don't remember when I showed you this video?
I don't see anything.
I see.
You don't see the video?
No, it's all black.
It's black.
Oh, okay. Whoops. Let me export it differently. That's weird. Well, now you'll never see it. You know what? I'll post it in Discord. Actually, no, I won't. I'll post it on Patreon, and you'll see it. And you'll see it there.
Yeah. So before we end today's live stream, guys, don't forget about the Nauticon conference. If you want to learn more about it, just go to the SGU website's homepage. There's a link on there that'll explain to you what the conference is. And we're basically asking you if you're interested in the conference before we commit all the time, energy, and money that it'll take to do it. And if we get 150 or more people that are willing to give us basically a verbal commitment to do it, then I will hit the green button and we will make this thing happen.
How long do they have to commit to?
I mean, I would like people to do it as quickly as possible, just because everything will work better the sooner I find out. The better things will go on the management end here. But they have until April 30th.
Okay.
Whole thing.
I think that's a wrap.
Yes, I must eat now.
So go to theskepticsguide.org, and there's a link to it on the homepage. And check our TikTok out before it gets banned, please. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Not our TikTok, but all of TikTok.
All of TikTok. Check out all of TikTok. And if you do have any videos that you find on that, or on Instagram or any other place where there's shorts or other weird things, make sure to send it to info@skepticsguide.org.
Yeah, let us know anything that's good. There's got to be some meat to it.
Yeah.
It's not if it's
Good
just like total craziness, probably not going to do it. But if it's clearly pseudoscientific and interesting, but there's something to sink your teeth into, that's where the sweet spot is.
Yeah, that's the one. That's what we go for.
Yeah.
And you can see it by like the views on some of them, like the CERN one, the demonic CERN one that definitely popped off. That was pretty cool. Okay, here I got the video. I think it'll play. Let's see. Can you see it now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, watch this, Steve.
This is the new style we're going for, right?
Oh my God.
That looks great.
This will be skeptics, kids to guide. I don't know.
Yeah, right? This might actually be the thing we've been looking for.
Yeah.
I wait till it switches to.
Is this just a filter?
Yeah. It doesn't even really exist anymore, but I have a backup of it.
Oh, cool.
Does it do it in real time, or is it?
Yeah, it's real time.
Oh my God!
Look at Jay.
Love it.
So, what's the style? What is this after?
It's
like Disney.
Oh, just Disney.
Disney Pixar kind of style.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the first thing I thought. I thought of Incredibles.
Pretty good though.
All right, everybody, have a great weekend.
Enjoy the weekend.
Good night, everybody.
Do something nice for someone in your life this weekend. Just spread some love around, right, guys?
Yeah.
Life is short, and there's a lot of, and it's difficult, and a lot of people need some friendship and love. So spread it around.
Also, take care of yourself. Get your heart rate up, no matter what. Do anything to get your heart rate up for a little while, and you will be healthier because of it. Just throwing that out there.
Thank you, Bob. Thanks, Steve.
Bob.
See you guys.
Good night. Thanks, Ian. Skeptic's Guide to the Universe is produced by SGU Productions, dedicated to promoting science and critical thinking. For more information, visit us at theskepticsguide.org. Send your questions to info@theskepticsguide.org. And if you would like to support the show and all the work that we do, go to patreon.com/skepticsguide and consider becoming a patron and becoming part of the SGU community. Our listeners and supporters are what make SGU possible.
Jay left too, so become a patron and all that, and follow our TikTok and like and subscribe and stuff, and fill out that form. And something else. How's everybody doing? Everybody good? Watched our TikTok videos? You could do that if you want. I'm not just here to promote, but I'll see you at the Not a Conference. Thanks. Anything else anybody wants? I hear a voice. No, you don't. Shh. Any other secret questions you want to know? Now's your time. You got 20 more seconds to ask me the most important questions you can think of. 20, 19, 18. I don't have one. Promoting a school. Okay, that's good. Face reveal? No, there is no face to reveal. It's the Ian show. No, it's not. I'll watch until they ban it here in Canada. Bye. Yes, I watch the TikToks. Thank you. You could also watch them on the Instagram shorts and stuff like that. Yes, I'm a very poor. I'm Chat GPT 1. It's not really good. Answer to the Universe 43. How about that? Didn't see that one coming, didn't you? Did you? Show your ankle. Okay, I'm out of here. Show ankle stream. Goodbye. Have a good one, everybody. Did you read their book? Yeah, only the mention of me in it, but that was about it. Okay, goodbye.